Would you drill holes in your walls to mount whiteboards all the way around? Learn about gallery learning and a few other ideas up next on the Bedley Brothers.
Yes, that's right. Welcome to the Bedley Brothers. I'm your host, Tim Bedley, with my brother, my co-host, Scott Bedley. Say hello, Scott.
Hello, Scott.
That's not exactly what I had in mind. And today, our special guest is us. Sorry to disappoint all of you out there.
I don't know if I'd characterize us as special, Tim.
Special in a special way. I guess we won't talk about that, though, huh? So we are going to talk some shop today, the Bedley Brothers. We're going to go back old school like we did in our very first episode, right, Scott?
That's right.
Yeah, we before we started having on guests, and we're just going to talk about, we're actually teachers, believe it or not. Scott's the most amazing teacher ever, and so we're going to talk about what we do in our what we do in our classrooms, like playing crickets and gongs, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. But before we get into that, Scott, tell our listeners how we've changed the Bedley Brothers show.
Yeah, you know, Tim, I really like the new format. It's a lot more like sarcasm, and we mock our guests more. So it's been fantastic. We love you, Jason. I think the cool thing is, Tim, when you brought the idea of let's go for some kind of fun trivia type quiz question games that are more personal with the guests. I think it was a great idea. And so those of you that haven't listened to one of our new shows yet, and this is the first show you might be listening to, new shows meaning the year 2015. So if you're in 2022, this is an old show format change. By now, we're probably retired.
Totally.
Or even more tired than we are now. But basically what we do is we interview guests, and then we ask them some fun trivia questions that might relate in some way to their name. Like, for example, we had on Jamie Ewing, an educator, and we asked him about the character on Dallas, Jamie Ewing. And so we had some trivia questions games. And the guest is actually playing for someone out there in the Twitterverse that they would like to give a prize to. So the guest themselves doesn't win a prize, but they do win a prize for one of our listeners out there. So hopefully you've got the gist of how the new show is. Tim, do you want to contribute anything else to that?
That's it, man. We have fun. The questions are silly, so make sure when you're watching or listening to the show that you stick around and drag the playhead down closer to about the 2/3 of the way through the show. That point right there, if we want to get straight to the quiz show. But yeah, we have fun, and we're just trying to lighten things up and have a good time with our guests, and also keep the educational factor there too. But yeah.
Now I think at this time of year too, in May, when we're recording this, man, anything to get an extra laugh or to have some fun is much needed.
It's a busy month. It's crazy. So, Scott, let's start off with you here before we get to gallery learning.
Hey, thanks, Tim.
Thank you, studio audience. Tell the audience about this new thing that you've been doing, which I think is just super cool. Engaging. You're always doing awesome stuff with your kids, and it's called Mystery Boxes. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it for now. Maybe the name will change once we get a little further along into it. So, I mean, the basic concept is to connect with another teacher. I love a chance to connect with other people, other teachers, and you send basically a lesson in a box to that other teacher. And so that could go along with that.
An actual box.
In an actual box.
Like ship it to them.
Ship it to them. Yeah, ship it directly to them. And so they open it up, and it's like everything they would need to do some kind of fun, engaging learning activity with another teacher. And again, just another way to connect. So the first project that we're doing is actually shipping a box, and it's a volume and density lesson. So we're shipping a box full of things to another classroom. They're going to ship us a box of things, and my students are going to have to try to increase the density and decrease the volume of the box, and then ship it back smaller. And so they're gonna have to figure out how to decrease the volume but increase the density of the things that were packed in that box. So we're tying in math into this this time, but certainly you could do any kind of lessons in a box. So maybe it's lessons in a box. Maybe that's what we'll call it, Tim.
Yeah, if it's you're saying it's a mystery box, so do you do anything with the box that's kind of mysterious, or is it just the fact that all of a sudden you're walking into class and saying, "Boys and girls, the box came," and then all the kids are like, "Oh, I wonder what's inside." I mean, is there anything more to it than that?
Yeah, no, I think that kind of that piece really engages kids when they are curious, and this is just increasing that curiosity level to begin with. And then the fact that it came from some other people and they have to try to solve some problem or figure out a way to overcome a task that would be tied to that box really makes it more engaging, I would say.
And what do you have any other ideas for the types of things that someone could put in the box and send to another class, or is it just kind of wide open?
Well, I think I mean, it just depends on who you're doing this with. And the people that I'm doing it with, we've had conversations. We got together and talked ahead of time and tried to outline where it was we wanted to go, that we wanted to focus in on like volume and density, to be specific on this last example. And so now my kids, you can kind of see it. I'm going to actually turn my camera. Those of you that are listening, I'm turning my camera to see the whiteboards around my room, and Tim's going to talk about what that is, his amazing creation called Gallery Learning. But my kids started brainstorming, like, what kind of objects do we want to ship to the other class to challenge them to figure out how to reduce the volume of the box with and keeping the same amount of items in there, keeping all the items in there, but like increasing their density so the box can be smaller. And so we're looking at a lot of different ways to examine box size and volume and measurements, and then and they're each coming up with a proposal that will kind of match whatever we get back. So there's the mystery is we don't know what we're going to get back, and so we'll see what happens.
And so the way that you engage all your kids in this, I think you kind of hinted at it there. You're having the kids work in pairs or teams or something to make a proposal as to what's going to go in the box. Because I mean, who decides? Is it you that decides? Are you kind of orchestrating this behind the scenes with the other teacher, or do you actually let the kids have the say in what's going to go in the box?
No, the kids are gonna have the final say in my classroom. I'm not sure exactly how the other teacher's doing it, but I anytime I can have the kids have the say, I'd like to give them the say. So yeah, they're brainstorming what they want to put in there. So as we're brainstorming, they're like, "We'd like to put you, Mr. Bedley, in a box." And I said, "Well, I know a lot of people that would like to put me in a box." And I try to break out of that box and show them that I'm out of the box thinker. Just kidding. No, but and I said, well, how big would a box's volume have to be to actually fit me in there? So as they're deciding on these objects, they're also having to figure out how big the box is. Now, we've already predetermined the size of the box. So once we give them the actual box that we're going to decide on what's shipping, then they're going to have to narrow it down as a class and as groups and as proposal teams. And the teams are either 2 or 3, just depending on, I kind of give the kids a little freedom of choice in that area and flexibility. But yeah, so they're investigating right now, like, how do we really approach volume and what does that look like when we have to ship something? So does that make sense?
Totally. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
The process of them having to really think about what could fit in a box this size, and what does a 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot box actually, the volume actually look like, and what could we actually fit in there? And so they're having a deeper understanding of the concept of volume.
Well, yeah, and that it's three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Because usually they see volume on a page that's got the drawing of it that's not actually three-dimensional, but it tries to trick your eye into thinking it's three-dimensional.
Right. So when they have to imagine real objects going into that, not just, hey, here's a 4 cubic inch box. How much is the volume? Like, so they have to go beyond just knowing the algorithm too. I mean, learning the algorithm for volume, I think, is fairly simple, but understanding the concept that algorithm or the way those dimensions changes what you have the ability to package or, put inside that object is interesting. And you know what, Tim? We had an amazing conversation today about the connection between mass, matter, and volume. too. So there was a lot of integration in this lesson between science and math in combination over the concept of volume and then density.
That's so cool. All
Yeah.
right. Well, where can people learn more?
They can learn more on my blog at the Mystery Box blog. Just kidding. They can stay tuned to the Bedley Brothers, and maybe we'll do another show where we just talk, and I'll share some more details about it. But or talk to me, just DM me or shoot me an email. Yeah, please connect with me, and we'll try it out. So.
And which of your Twitter accounts should they tweet?
They should tweet at Mystery Box Lessons. I just got that Twitter account right now. No, I think at Scott Teach, SCOTTEACH on the Twitter.
The Twitters. Minus a T.
TT.
There's two T's.
7 or 8 T's. So yeah, I think just connect with me, and I'll Skype with you. I will talk with you. I will whatever you want to know. I'll help you out. Hey Tim.
Wait. Hey Scott.
I heard you bolted boards to your walls, and you call it gallery learning. What's that about, man?
Well, a little over. Probably. The sound effects are here. About a year and a half ago, I had a colleague that threw some whiteboards all around his room, and I'm like, well, what do you call this thing? I want to do some research on this. And he didn't really know what it was called, and so I found out it was called the 360 Classroom, or variations of that name. I Googled it, and I could find next to nothing online about the concept and how you would teach with something like that, other than this like 4-step lesson and some feature of a high school math teacher on some PBS show called Teach or something like that.
And
it was like a
website called Next to Nothing, because if there's not, there should be. That would be an awesome website. Next to Nothing.
Hang on here. So yeah, I Googled it. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm on my own. I tried contacting. I found a Facebook group on it, and I contacted them. They said, well, here's the email addresses of our teachers that are going to be doing this thing or that are doing or whatever. And I emailed them, and they're like, well, we haven't really started on that yet. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've been teaching for 27 years. I probably can kind of figure out this thing and fake it. And so, yeah, I started by just using the whiteboards that were already in my room, and then I had my kids writing on the windows, and I actually had them writing on the metal cabinets that are in my portable. That didn't work out too great because it didn't come off the cabinets. I thought it would just wipe off. But that didn't work. But anyways, once I started doing that, my mind was blown at, first of all, what the kids cannot do that I assumed that they could do. And then secondly, how quickly the kids acquire new understanding and skills and things like that. And so I'm like, I'm going to put boards all the way around my room. So I did that a year and a half ago or so. Lined my room with whiteboards.
Your room, Tim? Tim, if somebody walks into your classroom, what do they see now? Like, what does it look like?
Whiteboards all the way around the room. And I got them at Lowe's. They'll actually cut them for you, but each kid has a section, and I move them around like all the time, so it's not like they have an assigned board, but every kid has their own board that they stand at, and the board is about 2.5 feet high by about 2 feet wide.
Gotcha.
And so it's a pretty decent sized section. I do not have time right now to explain everything that I've learned in the last year and a half from doing gallery learning, but the basic idea is that it's feedback on steroids. I thought that by using little individual whiteboards and having the kids sit at their desks and write things and hold them up, or, do the whole hide the whiteboard and then everybody show your answers thing, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But once they're on the wall, I just discovered this whole new power to it. First of all, the kids can see everybody else's work on the wall while they're working, which is not good for, an authentic assessment of knowing where all your kids are individually, because they can basically copy each other. But it does give you feedback as a teacher right away of in general where your kids are, because you can stand in the middle of the room, you become the audience for the kids, and you just look around, and in 2 seconds you can see where every kid is at in the process of doing whatever you've asked them to do, their understanding of it. And then the other thing is the feedback to the kids, because like I have a laser, I point at stuff, I'll tell them, hey, you didn't, blah, blah, blah.
You have a laser?
I got a laser. I shoot it in their eyes. No, just kidding.
A laser.
And, a laser. And I bring cats into my classroom. It's awesome. No, but I can give them feedback. Plus, they're getting feedback from the students around them because they're comparing what they did with everybody else. I'll never forget some of my first experiences of using Gallery. And by the way, I just branded it Gallery Learning. You can go to the website, gallerylearning.com. You're not going to see much there. If you're watching the show and it's a fresh show to you, you're not going to see much, but eventually you're going to see a lot of information on how to put the boards up, how to engage your kids, because Gallery Learning isn't just throw whiteboards on your walls and voila, you're a great teacher or something like that. My partner and I, who the one that introduced me to it, Brian O'Connor, we're just developing all kinds of different techniques that you can use. The idea of Gallery Learning is you've got whiteboards on your walls. Now, how does that change the way you teach? And so Gallery Learning is not about whiteboards. It's about teaching with whiteboards, if that makes sense.
You know what I love about doing it, Tim, and I just copied you and I love it. But I love that instead of the kids watching me demonstrate something on the board, I'm watching them. They're all doing instead of watching.
Yes.
Like is good, and you've talked about this before with you and I, and that's good when kids are doing things.
Yes, and that's what I discovered when I first did it. I said, this is over halfway through 5th grade. Shouldn't the kids be able to draw a number line that shows fourths on it? I mean, that's pretty simple for a 5th grader, right? And I feel like I'm doing a good job teaching math, and the kids know their fractions, and they know what a number line is, and we've done all these different things. And I'm like, okay, go to the whiteboards and everybody draw a number line that shows fractions between 0 and 1 by fourths. You could not believe all the crazy stuff that I had on those boards that I was looking at going, holy cow, I need to teach these kids a lot more. They put, first of all, hardly any of them had arrows on the ends of their number lines. They didn't have a 0 on there. They had, if they did have the fractions written correctly, which not all of them did, they had 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 crammed over into one side of the number line, and then a giant gap that had 1 out, someplace. They a lot of,
that's not right.
Equal increments. They had 3/4, 4/4, and then 1. 4/4 was separate from 1. So after going through all this stuff with the kids, and but I tell you what, once I started showing them and they saw the kids that were doing right, we had a discussion about it. The kids all could do it within just a really quick period of time. Whereas if I was just demonstrating it, or they were doing some worksheet or assignment on it, there's no way they would have learned how to do it that fast. And then another quick anecdote of something I did where I said, draw a cube on your board. I had like one kid in the whole class that could draw a cube, like a 3D, with the diagonal lines going back and stuff. So I took that one kid, I had them show the class from beginning to end. How did they do it? I said, now go to your boards and do it. And every single kid in the class did it instantly. It was crazy. So we use it for language arts. We use it for math, social studies, science, research, writing, you name it. I mean, just all the time using the boards. And it's
just a collaborative tool to even just have on your walls, just for the kids to collaborate together if they're doing a project, to do planning up there, so you can see what they're planning out. I mean, it's almost like I know it's not endless, and it's not the savior of education, but this is an amazing shift, Tim, in the way you teach.
Yeah, and the other thing I love about it is low tech. It's no tech, because all you have to do is make sure you got markers that work, and you got your boards on the wall. I use rags. I use baby, what do you call those those blankets that are really soft, receiving blankets. I just cut them up. Those are my erasers. I mean, it's so simple. I don't have to worry about the internet going down or the technology not working or whatever. And, you know, I love all these technology ideas. Don't get me wrong. But when I hear about something it's like, well, they can write something on an iPad and submit it to the teacher. And I don't have to do that. They're all submitting it. I've seen the process. And that is huge to me also as a teacher, is to not just see the end results, but to see how they got there and the steps and the thinking that's going on and the erasing and changing. And it's just huge.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, is you can really see, the students that are struggling with that concept right away, and you can get over to them, or
Yep.
a friend hops in and helps them out, which is tremendous.
Yep.
You have a chance of where you can put it. There's so many, you could talk about this, I know, Tim, for like 3 hours. And if you want him to talk about it, contact him on his website at Tim Bedley, the handsomest 50-year-old man in the world. And no, contact him, because I'm sure he would love to share more about this. And how would you, Tim, let me ask you this, okay? Because some people might be thinking, okay, you do all this work on the boards. Like, how do you keep track? How does that go into your grades? Or how does that go into letting parents be able to see what the kids are doing in class? If I do a worksheet,
you're not passing papers in, right?
If I do a worksheet with him, I can send it home. So how are you sharing what's going on in your class?
Yeah, that's a whole nother piece, and we don't have time for it right now. But the short answer is, I'm sorry?
Give us a glimpse.
A glimpse is technology. Now, that's where the technology comes in, because we all have our cell phones, right? I'm snapping pictures. I'm throwing it on Instagram. I'm throwing it on Google Drive. We could share it via digital portfolios that the parents can log into. And it's so much quicker and easier than shuffling papers too. So it doesn't exclude the other things that I used to do. I'm still doing the technology with the kids. I'm still doing pencil and paper, personal accountability. There's still personal assessment. Collaborative learning group. I mean, a lot of that's going on in the gallery, but it doesn't exclude other things that you're doing, and that's the beauty of it. And it's also not an add-on. It's not like, oh, great, one more thing I've got to do in my classroom. No, I mean, it's just a different way of delivering the instruction to the kids.
And Tim, I surveyed my kids, because this is the first year I've done it, and they love it.
Yeah,
they really do love it. They love the physical movement that you get. I mean, there's so many little side effects from just being 6-to-1 with Expo markers rather than 1-to-1 with Chromebooks. So
yes,
right,
yeah.
right.
And they're standing, the kids that have the ADD stuff and all that, and then they're moving. I mean, I actually found when I first started doing it that the kids were like wilting over by their board, like, can we sit down now? You know, and in most classrooms, it's like the kids are dancing in their seats and they want to get up. I mean, they have to develop some stamina to be able to stand at the board for longer than 2 minutes.
Hey, Tim, so just like, I know we don't have a lot of time, and if you want to stick around, we're going to be broadcasting. Shannon Miller is going to be coming up here in about 15 minutes. But just a real quick look. So the kids are at their seats. You have whiteboards around there. Do you just go, and they all run to a board, and then what do you do?
Yeah, that's you're getting into the whole classroom management piece of gallery learning, which again would take me forever to explain right now. But I mean, I'm assigning boards. I'm writing numbers on all the boards in the morning using my popsicle stick. So it's the old school. You know, I got numbers for every kid. I just write a number on each board. It takes me literally less than 2 minutes to have it all set up, and then the kids are more heterogeneously mixed around the room, because you don't want them standing right next to the same kid every day, because then they're getting the same feedback every day.
Right.
But anyway, hey, let's go to our game show here, and the people can follow me at T-Bed63.
I did want to do that for you, for the correct use of literally.
Did I say that?
You used literally correctly. I'm just proud of you, Tim.
I didn't say literally, figuratively.
I mean, you said figuratively, literally.
Literally.
Wait, what?
I literally said.
All right, man.
Okay. Anyway, Tbed63 on the Twitters if you want to learn more, and check out gallerylearning.com. Okay. I'm going to give you some questions first. about a topic that you know a lot about, and that is Angels baseball.
Gotcha.
So Scott Bedley will be playing today for Kim Bass. She is an ADE in Fullerton, California, teaches elementary school there. And if Scott is able to answer 2 out of our 3 questions correctly today, Kim will win a Rockin' the Standards album download. So, Scott, are you ready for your first question?
Hey, Rockin' the Standards is rockalicious, bro. Of course, bring it. Okay. Angels trivia? I'm sure I'll get this wrong, but go ahead.
Who was the first Angel to lead the American League in batting average? Is it A, Brian Downing, B, through 2003, no Angel has ever led the American League in batting average, C, Rod Carew, or D, Alex Johnson?
Well, Tim Bedley, that takes me back to the 1980s, and one of my favorite players who leaned over with broken style wrists and slapped that ball out for single after single. I'm going to go with Rodney Carew.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
No, okay. I'm not sure. No.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. The answer is Alex Johnson.
Who?
Alex Johnson. Yeah. No, not Alex Johnson. Yeah, Alex Johnson. He went 2 for 3 on the last day of the 1970 season to beat out Carl Yastrzemski for the title. He hit 329.0 to Yastrzemski's 328.6.
I should have remembered that. I think I was like 8 months old.
Yes, yes. So the moody and enigmatic Johnson was traded 1 year later. All right, 2 out of 3. Here we go. Your next one. Who was the first Angel to win the Cy Young Award?
Did Rod? Wait a second. I'm still stuck on that. Did Rod Carew not win a batting title with the Angels?
I don't know. I think he might have been with the Twins. I'm not sure. Okay, first Cy Young. Are you ready? Mike Witt, Frank Tanana, Nolan Ryan, or Dean Chance?
Well, Dean Chance is near to my heart. You know that. I don't think it's Dean Chance.
Oh, you might want to think it's Dean Chance.
I'm going to go with Dean Chance, Tim.
Oh, yes. Correct. Award in 1964, going 20-9 with a minuscule 1.65 ERA, throwing
possible.
Yeah, it's 1.65 with 11 shutouts and winning 6 of them 1-0. That's probably because the Angels again had wonderful offense. Okay, your third and final question.
I'm not
Mr. Scott.
Good here.
Who is the first Angel to win the American League Most Valuable Player Award? Is that Don Baylor, Reggie Jackson, Garrett Anderson, or Tim Salmon?
The most valuable player in the American League?
Yes.
Gosh, man, I don't know these. See this. I got drum questions for you. Let's shift.
Let's. I'll give you a hint. 1979.
No. Okay, give me the choices again.
Don Baylor, and Don Baylor.
No, I was gonna guess Don Baylor because I know it wasn't Reggie. He's awful. And who else were the other choices?
Don Baylor. Don Baylor.
Edit this out of the show.
That means, Scott, you have correctly answered 2 out of 3 questions correctly, and Kim Bass from California an album download from Rockin' the Standards. Okay, there's no way I'm going to answer questions about drummers correctly, but go ahead.
I'm glad you gave me questions about Angels players from the 70s.
When you were 3.
How about like who was the first Rookie of the Year named for the Angels? Can you name that one, Tim?
No.
Tim Salmon, man. Come on. All right, here we go. I got drummers questions for you, Tim. Who are you playing for today?
Today I'm playing Elizabeth Gould.
Oh, that's E. Gould. She's out of Dana Point, California, and somewhere in southern Orange County.
She's the official first Bedley sister, I believe, too.
Yeah, with Jeannie Reed. Hey, Tim. This is a question about drummers because you yourself are a drummer. Is that correct?
Sometimes.
All right. Who's the drummer who lost his arm and continues to play for the band Def Leppard? Is it Mickey Hart, Marvin Smith, Rick Allen, or Alan Davis?
I know about him. I'm going to go, wait, what are my choices again?
Mickey Hart, Marvin Smith, Rick Allen, or Alan Davis?
Alan Davis.
Rick Allen.
I was close. I had the Allen part right.
Amazingly talented people, and you missed it.
Oh, great.
All right, I got an easier one for you, Tim.
Okay, give me an easier one.
Who's the drummer from the Tonight Show band that made it big? Is it Max Weinberg, Freddie Foster, Marvin Smitty Smith, or Mickey Hart?
Oh, wait, that's easier? Okay, give me the choices again.
Is it Max Weinberg or Max Weinberg or Max Weinberg?
Max Weinberg. That's who I was going to pick, Max Weinberg.
No, you're wrong. It was Smitty.
Get out of here.
No, Max Weinberg was for Letterman. No, wait, not for Letterman. Oh, I'm going to give you a bonus question. See if you can get this one. Okay. Who is the only beardless one in ZZ Top who plays the drums? Is it Rick Allen, John Topper, Samuel Smith, or Frank Beard? The only beardless.
I would say Frank Beard.
That's right, Tim. It's Frank Beard. Nice job.
Okay.
You ready?
Did I get 2 out of 3? Oh, I get another one?
1 out of 1 now. We're going to try for one more. Who's the drummer from the band Aerosmith, Tim Bedley? The drummer for the band Aerosmith. Is it Mickey Hart, Joey Kramer, Mickey Dolenz, or Alex Sandler?
Mickey Dolenz?
The Monkees? Listen,
just because I know how to play the drums doesn't mean I know about drumming.
He has a name that kind of matches a kangaroo.
Wait, what are my choices again?
Joey Kramer or a bunch of other people.
Joey Kramer.
That's right, Tim. You've just won for Elizabeth Gould.
Oh, okay. I think that's a gift. Good job, Elizabeth. Okay. Well, that's all the time we have. That's all the time we have for our show today, Scott. And thanks for being my special guest.
You're welcome. I think we need guests back on the show, though. I'll tell you that.
Definitely. And
Simon Miller, thanks for checking us out, buddy. I appreciate it.
Definitely. And thanks for watching.
Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad.